Hey babes, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikki for those of you who are new here, and for those of you who are not, welcome back. So I have to say I actually filmed this intro already without any makeup, and I was like going to talk you guys through the look, but I just have to show it just one more time, like completed, because wow, this look is something that just blew my mind. I absolutely love it. So today we're going to be using the Tati Beauty Volume 1 palette, but it is beautiful. If I go anywhere, I need to remember to like travel with this palette and this palette alone because holy cow, it's gorgeous. So I hope you guys are ready for this. Y'all, I just realized this entire look was supposed to be drugstore, and I managed to make everything drugstore except the palette. Like how did that, huh? What? Okay, so that was a big faux pas on my part, but this is the only high-end product in this video. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this like 0 to 100 full glam beat moment. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, you guys, is just prime my face because I've been saying this in a lot of my videos, but my skin is pretty dry recently and I feel like it just needs a little extra love right now, so that's what we're going to do. The first thing that I'm going to apply is the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm. This one is in the shade Mighty Mint. These are amazing. If you have not heard about these yet and the hype hasn't caught up to you, they are super hydrating lip balms. They are very comparable to like something high-end. Look at that. You literally, this is like so much. And this one is really good for both men and women just because it is clear. They have like other colors as well though. And obviously, like, if you're a guy, don't apply this much, but like pretty much it gives you a really nice hydrating effect. I love this one and I like the scent of it. It might actually be my favorite one of all of them. Alrighty, so next up I'm going to go with the Hailey's Beauty Refine Prime Foundation Primer. So I always think that this is a like you pull it out and it's like an applicator, but it really just is like a little squeezy tube. This is what the consistency looks like. It's kind of like a silicone based primer, but it actually works for my skin and it's not like too overly like slippy. Okay, so I actually haven't used this in a while, but this came really highly recommended to me a while back. This is the Olay Mist. It is an energizing, I think, vitamin C, yeah, and bergamot ultimate hydration essence. So I'm gonna jump in with this. I was using it there consistently for a while, like I pretty much used about this much, and then I just kind of fell off of it, so I'm gonna go with this today. The sprayer on this is actually really nice. It's intense because of how close I sprayed it to my skin, but it's actually really like a fine mist. So I'm just going to let that soak into my skin. And then for foundation, I'm going to go in with an oldie but a goodie. This is the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Foundation in the shade 128 Warm Nude. This is a glass bottle with a pump, a beautiful foundation. It's actually been the foundation that I take like anytime I go anywhere pretty much, just because it's like just really, it works for my skin really well. So I'm taking about 2 pumps of that foundation on a damp beauty sponge. This is from, the sponge is from the brand Bakey, I think is how you pronounce it, and you can find it on Amazon. You get 5 sponges for I think like $8 or $10, and they're super comparable to the Beauty Blender, like such a spot on dupe. So this foundation is matte and super long wearing. It is honestly one of my favorite foundations, and I wear it in the shade 128 Warm Nude. It's like a perfect match for me, honestly. Of all my foundations, this one has been the most like consistently perfect match for me recently. Next, I'm going to jump in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I have mine in the shade Light Honey. I actually took the stopper out of this because I was running out of it. I have so many good concealers right now from the drugstore. And honestly, this one's pretty underrated. It's like been around for a long time. I don't really think I've seen a lot of people talk about it in quite a while. But you guys, it's actually so good. The only thing is that the applicator isn't really large, but the product is what's good about it, so I like it. And I like this color on me as well. It's like just enough yellow and like bright to really accentuate my face. Next, I'm going to jump in with my Collab Ultra Fine Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Porcelain Ivory. And I was talking about this in my last video, but like I used this consistently for so long that I'm like pretty much running out of it now, so. And I'm just going to go in with the Tati Beauty Blendiful. I'm going to use this to apply this under my eyes. So then after I've set the majority of my face, I'm going to take a pressed powder. This is the Morphe Filter Effect Powder in the shade number 4. Mine broke on me, but I really like this shade, so I don't, oh, there it goes. I don't want to dump it out, you know, I really, and I still like only half of it broke. So I still want to use this. And so basically what I'm going to do with this product is I'm just grabbing a little brush. This is a Luxie 512 small contouring brush that I don't use for contouring. And I'm just going to press this powder all over my face. Okay, so then the next thing I'm gonna do is bronze because my skin desperately needs it at this point. It's super, it's not doing great. So I'm actually gonna try a smaller bronzing brush, and I have no idea where this brush is from, but normally I use a super extremely large bronzing brush, which I seem to have misplaced at this moment. I don't know how oh, here it is. Okay, so I've been using this huge brush for a long time now. It's from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection, and I'm wondering if it's maybe too big because last time I used it I felt like I was just struggling. So I'm going to try this for bronzer today and see how it works. And I'm using my Morphe Glam Bronze Bronzer in the shade Icon. I really like that bronzer brush from Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. Only thing is that I'm kind of wondering, you know, if it was too big. Like it can easily get out of hand. And so I was kind of thinking maybe I'll use a smaller brush. Especially around my forehead. My forehead is not that large, I feel like. And so trying to fit brushes that are larger than this on my forehead, you know, like if I'm trying to bronze it, I only want to bronze the perimeter, not the whole thing. And so that was kind of something I was encountering. Okay, I actually really like the way this is looking. I feel kind of like bad leaving this brush. Like I feel like I'm betraying it a little bit because it was like my ride or die there for a minute. But I feel like it's just time to put it down for a while because honestly, makeup is so much about like trends and how you feel at the moment and you know, what you think makes your face look the best. And right now I'm feeling a small brush. So see, even here I feel like I've applied my bronzer a little bit higher and here I've applied it a little bit lower. Like right here I kind of got a little out of hand, and I feel like just the higher you apply things like this, I feel like the more controlled, just overall like nicer and lifted your face looks. So I'm actually gonna bake a little bit with this Collab loose setting powder. This is actually the perfect like powder for baking under the face, like under the cheeks right here, because it's not super intense, so you don't have to really worry about it being like overwhelming, I guess. So again, I talked about this brush in my last video. This is my last makeup video. This is the Luxie 209 large shader brush, and I started using this for my nose in that last video, and I was incredibly impressed with just the way that it like contoured my face, and it was just really nice. I feel like because it is like a slightly more stiff brush, it actually gives me a really nice like nose contour. Okay, so another oldie but a goodie. This product has been around for so long. This is the NYX contour palette. So it's actually a highlight and contour palette, and you can see that I've hit pan on quite a few of the shades. This one's obviously my favorite, so I'm gonna mix these two today, and I'm going to do some light contouring. This is actually a super pigmented palette. I haven't used it in, I don't think with any of my videos, and if I have, I obviously haven't used it in forever, but it is a consistently good product. Okay, so while my face is still matte and I don't have anything like moisturizing on it, I'm gonna go with a matte blush. This is the LA Girl Island Hottie blush palette, and I'm going to take this blush right here, and I'm kind of going to disperse it a little bit on my cheek, but I'm kind of running it up into my bronzer as well. And now I'm going to go back in with the Olay mist I was using earlier, and this time I'm going to spray it a little bit farther away so that the mist is more dispersed and not so like intense on my face. Okay, so now that my face is kind of set down a little bit, I'm going to go in with the Revolution Pro Glow 2 palette. This is gorgeous. So some of these are like blushy shades. This one's kind of a bronzer. These are my favorite. Like, it has a little bit of everything. It's so nice. I actually got this at TJ Maxx, I think, for like $5. It was honestly, Profusion is already so inexpensive, but when you can get it for that price, it's like, okay, so I want this look to be super glowy, and I am going to use this Profusion palette, but I also pulled out, we're like doing all Revolution stuff for this glowy vibes. So I have this Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer in the shade Rock On World. So I'm going to apply some of this bronzer, and then I also have this spray by them, which is gorgeous. I was like obsessed with it one summer, and like this is the use you see here. This is the Glow Revolution Prime Set and Glow Illuminating Face and Body Spray in the shade Timeless Bronze. I think the way that I recall applying this was like I sprayed it on myself, but then I think I also at some point was like, if I wanted a more precise application, I would apply it to the back of my sponge. So I'm going to try just spraying it on my face and see how that goes. I'm kind of going to block this area right here so that my like, you know, cheeks like down here don't get bronzy. Okay, so actually that looks really beautiful. You can definitely apply more, but like I don't even think you can see it. It's such a fine, like tiny little mist of sparkle all over my face except for right here. It's beautiful. And then I'm going to try for a more like intense application. I'm going to spray it on the back of my sponge. See, this is super pigmented. This is what it looks like here on my thumb. So what I remember liking to do with this was kind of applying it on the back of my hand and then applying it to my face because I didn't want too much intensity happening. So you see how glowy that made my skin? My skin is still a little bit damp from that, but for the most part, that is beautiful. Also, I do love using this on the body. So like I would just like move these out of the way and you don't see a lot of it. Like I only did 3 spritzes. But like once it dries down and also just like in lighting, it looks so beautiful. So I used this on my sister-in-law when I did her prom. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Revolution Vivid Baked bronzer, and I'm going to just take this between my bronzer and where my highlight's going to sit. I haven't done a super intense glowy look in a hot minute, and honestly, it's one of the like styles of makeup that I feel like my best in. You see how beautiful this is? And I had to use a very like fluffy light brush and a very like light hand with this product. Okay, so now moving on to highlight. I'm going to take I think a mixture of these 2 shades in the Revolution Pro Glow 2 palette. So these highlights don't have any like shimmer, but they are very intense. And like I'm just dipping my brush in. I'm not like swirling it around or anything, and like look at that pigment. It's amazing. There is so much good makeup that you don't have to spend a lot of money to just look and feel your best. Like, I would not steer you wrong, guys. Look how glowy and wet my skin looks. And it doesn't look super, like, intense when I'm looking at myself from the front. But, like, when the light hits it, it's like, bam, bam. Ooh, so good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take those same 2 shades and apply it to my nose for my nose highlight. So now I'm going to do my brows off camera just because I feel like that's kind of boring, and then we're going to come back and work on the eyes together. Okay, you guys, so I have one eye almost done. All I have to do is pop this lash on. I think this is my favorite look I've ever done with this palette. It's so beautiful and like so up my alley, and it's just like a little bit of everything. So let's jump into it. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with priming my eye with the same concealer that I used on my face. This is going to serve as our base. It's also going to help me clean up underneath the brow and make everything look snatched. So the next thing I'm going to do, oh, this lash is probably dry now, so I'm going to pop this on real quick. These lashes are from the brand Cavalli. This one is in the style Cali, and y'all, look at that. I chose this one because it's wispy enough that I think you're still going to see the makeup through it, but it's like still flares out and everything. I was right. I love this lash. I love it because it accentuates like the smoky wing that I have going on over here, but it's still small enough and sparse enough in the front where you can really see the glitter and basically the attention to detail that I like put into this eye makeup. So love that. I actually think I said last time that like the last style that I tried from them was my favorite, but now I feel like it's this one. I think also it just depends on like what you're doing and what you're wearing the makeup for and the look that you've done. And so the way that this palette works, you guys, is that it goes like in rows and columns. So in like, and then it goes like in different shades. So this is the matte, sequin, metallic, and glitter. And so what I'm going to do is start with the shade. So this is the shade, like the column, Soothe. And I'm going to go in with the shade Matte Soothe. So this one right here. It's kind of like an interesting concept, but I actually really like the way she did it. So I'm gonna, this shade actually comes off a little bit darker than I would think it would, but it always ends up blending really nicely, and I can make it work. Ideally, I think I would put a bronzer down before going right into this, but I've never like had a problem blending it out. So next, in the same Soothe category, I'm going to jump in with the sequin one, which is like, has these like very fine little micro glitters, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner of my eye. It's the same like matte shade, just with like teeny tiny little glitters in it. And it's funny because like honestly in this eye I've kind of lost it, but that's what I did over here, so that's what I'm doing on this side, just so you guys have like an exact like step-by-step recreation of what I did. So then I'm going to jump over to the shade Story, and I'm going to take the matte and then I'm going to do the sequin just like I did on this eye. I'm basically just blending this orangey shade kind of on the outer portion of my eye, kind of like stopping like where my eye like pupil stops. And then I'm going to jump in with the sequin version of that and place it in the same area. Just jumping over. So we're basically going from like lightest over here to darkest, and I might use this to like highlight the brow bone, like the matte aura shade, but I just haven't decided yet, so we'll get to that. But I'm going to take the matte Ritual shade. I'm keeping the shade really low on the eye, and then what I'm going to do with this Morphe M506 brush, it's just like a really small like fluffy brush. I'm going to take that matte black, which is the shade Memory, and I'm just going to very like even lower than that brown. I'm going to kind of like diffuse this very close to my lash line. And then I'm going to go back in with the brown, just kind of like layering these two colors, make sure everything looks as blended as possible. And of course, I'm looking back at this eye to make sure that everything looks even. I personally like doing part of one eye and then going back to the other, but when I'm filming videos and I don't know the eye look I'm going to do, I always do one first just to like make it easier to teach you guys what I'm doing. So at this step, I'm going to cut my crease. I'm going to use the same concealer as I did earlier and the same Ulta Beauty flat concealer brush. For this process, because I have slightly hooded eyes, I like to make sure that I'm looking to see, like, when my eyes are relaxed, what still shows. So over here, with my eyes relaxed, you still see that glitter, but over here that white disappeared, so I need to take it higher. Okay, and then once everything kind of looks like that, I'm gonna jump into some of the metallic shades in this palette. So first I'm gonna take the shade Ritual in the style Formula Metallic, and I'm gonna put it on the outer corner of, or like the kind of the middle of my eye, between that black and the lightest shade. And I'm using a really flat brush so that I can apply plenty of product there without it really like getting outside of the line. Then kind of skipping the orange one and going into the shade Soothe in the metallic, and I'm gonna apply this on the inner corner. The metallic shades in this palette are to die for. They're probably the best metallic shades I think I've ever used. I was literally just thinking about it and I'm like, why don't I use this palette more? It is so freaking good. And then right on the inner corner, I'm going to go into the shade Aura, and I'm going to take the metallic in that one. Just kind of like start my inner corner with that. I'm going to take the Aura shade on a smaller brush and diffuse it on the inner corners, which I didn't do over here yet. I love a bright inner corner like that. Okay, then yet another step. I'm going to take an even flatter brush in the last one, and I'm going to go into the glitter. So I'm going to take the shade Story, that glitter, and I'm going to apply that shade right in the middle portion of my eye. And then I'm going to jump into the shade Soothe in the glitter. And this is almost a glitter liner, except I am dragging the glitter particles down. So you can still see the metallic shades, but then the glitter like still manages to like amp up the look. And then very quickly for the lower lash line, I'm going to take a thin fluffy brush. I'm going to go into the matte Soothe shade. And then I'm going to take Matte, Ritual, and Memory on this teeny tiny little brush. I'm going to take Ritual first. And I'm not bringing this all the way to the inner corner of the eye. Again, I'm kind of stopping where my pupil stops. So then I'm going to put that palette down for a second and I'm going to jump into some eyeliner. So this is the Covergirl. Major Matte Black Liquid Liner. And I'm just going to do a kind of medium-sized wing. Nothing super large. And so you could leave it like this, but I really wanted to go for that smoky look. So with that same tiny little shader brush, I'm going to take the matte black and I'm kind of going to stamp right above it and start creating a shadow effect. The only thing is you want to make sure not to take it all the way to the tip of the wing, because that is going to be like the most like snatched and precise part of the eye. All I'm going to do now is jump in with my lashes. Like I said, these are the Cavalli lashes in the style Cali with a K. I'm gonna, how beautiful these are. I'm gonna link all their information down below so you guys can shop their website. And I'm gonna pop this lash on and be right back. So I actually forgot, but I'm gonna apply some Wet n Wild Breakup Proof eyeliner. This is a retractable black eyeliner that will not budge. It is so matte and literally it's amazing. So I'm gonna tightline my eye. It just really makes the eye look super smoky and dark. And then I'm also gonna take this on just like the tiniest outer layer of the eye as well. If like it looks awkward like this, just take your little shader brush and blend it out. Oh, I'm also gonna pop in with some mascara. This is the Maybelline New York Falsies Lash Lift. I talked about this one in my last makeup video as well. I love this. It's one of the best mascaras at the drugstore, I think, other than like Essence mascaras, which are incredibly affordable and super good. I have to say though, I don't think I would repurchase this because I really do like Essence mascaras. They are much cheaper by like $3. And honestly, $3 at the drugstore is a big jump for me. That's a significant jump for me for the same product. And Essence, I'm pretty sure, is cruelty free, while Maybelline is not. And as much as I love Maybelline, that is something that stops me from like loving their products. And so pretty much my goal is to kind of get away from Maybelline. As much as I love their mascaras, especially this one, it's just not worth it. I think eventually my plan is to make sure that all the makeup I'm buying, all the new makeup I talk about on my channel is cruelty free, even though right now it's not because I haven't like vetted everything, but I do love to see like that cruelty free label on my makeup product. Okay, so now I'm going to do my lips, and basically after that we're completely done. So I'm going to use, of course, all Drugstore here, but this is the e.l.f. Retro Paradise lip liner. This one is in the shade 02 Nude. So they came with 3 in the lip kit, and this is like the medium shade. And then I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. and Nabela Noor collab liquid lipstick. This is actually one of the best liquid lipstick formulas. It's so nice. So if you have to wear a mask for whatever like event or whatever you have to go to, if you have to wear a mask, I definitely recommend only going with a liquid lipstick. Anything else will come off and make your makeup just slide around under your mask. It will be a hot mess. I do not recommend. But if you're not and you're just like gonna stay at home and take beautiful pictures, honestly, if you just kind of want to like get like glammed up for yourself, then go in with gloss. I'm a gloss girl personally, but the whole mask life has kind of derailed that trend for me. So today I'm going to go in with the Soap and Glory Sexy Mother Pucker Lip Gloss in the shade Nudestar. Now, you could leave it here. It looks super glossy and pretty because of the shine, but I personally love, as like any lip gloss topper, the Essence Shine 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 liquid lipstick or lip gloss. It's actually clear, but I've used it on so many different colors that it kind of has this like peachy color to it. But I love the consistency because it just makes everything look so wet. Like that looks so much more intense and glossy and wet. So okay, you guys, so this is the finished look, and I can personally tell you I don't think I have felt this beautiful, glam, like just honestly like sexy, good vibes. So nice. So I don't think I felt this good in makeup in a long time. I really took my time with this look and just sat here and enjoyed the process, and it's so therapeutic. I love it so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. Let me know if you end up recreating it. If you guys don't see 10,000 photos of me with this look on my Instagram, let me know because I've done something wrong. That's like my plan after this, is like to just take some photos of this makeup and this whole look. It feels so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more looks with the Tati Beauty palette, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!